We know for a fact that DC Studios is going to New York Comic Con, which of course is in October. And now we got some first details in regards to what we can expect to see there. And of course, I think expectations are pretty high because, let's be real, DC has been on a roll so far. Creature Commandos, Superman, and Peacemaker are all absolutely incredible. Next year, they got multiple projects, and the year after that, they're already cracking away on those. So let's talk about what's happening. DC Studios is currently on an incredible roll. 3 projects in, and each one has been a home run. Now, whether or not you like each one or are partial to one more than the other, the general consensus is that between Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and Superman, they've all been home runs. Again, personal taste aside and all that, just look at the general consensus. It's overwhelmingly positive. So when it comes to New York Comic Con, we know that it is a big deal in the industry still. Now, of course, Comic Cons have fallen off somewhat. They're not as big as they used to be, but New York Comic Con is still one of the biggest Comic Cons that gets plenty of traction, plenty of reveals, and of course, plenty of hype. So when it comes to official announcements, DC has confirmed that they will be at New York Comic Con starting Thursday, October 9th, all the way through Sunday, October 12th. Yes, they will have a show floor presence as well, which means booths, exclusive items, and all that, and tons of panels will be there as well, including what they've said is surprises for those in attendance. Now, I do need to warn you guys that expectations and rumors and everything are super high. And the same thing that I said going into San Diego Comic-Con and D23 this year, just because scoopers and reports are out there claiming here's the entire slate leak, every announcement, as I always state in these videos, take this with a grain of salt, and I'm just feeding you the info that they're stating online and what the internet is buzzing about. I personally don't think we're getting any of this, and if anything, only one thing will be revealed. So let's get into what exactly the leaks are saying. So as always, if you just skipped straight to this section, let me remind you, leaks are leaks per insiders and scoopers. There is nothing official here, and as I stated before, and will continue to state, any leak is hearsay. It's guesswork, many times made up by people, and also a lot of this stuff is just hopeful thinking, and much of the time it doesn't turn out to be true at all. San Diego Comic-Con this year and D23 should be prime examples. But again, sometimes we look at this stuff and there have been legit leaks, so that's why people tend to believe it. Now, is this a scenario where we're going to get Aquaman the King dead? No, we're not going to get that, okay? Some of you are going to understand that reference. Are we going to get Marvel Studios announcing Avengers Annihilation? Probably not. Again, some of you will get that reference as well. But what we're talking about is the alleged leaks. So per what's been reported online, expect to see our first look at Green Lantern series, Lanterns. Now, this to me makes sense. Peacemaker will be wrapping up right alongside New York Comic Con, like in that same time window. So hyping up your next series would be optimal, especially because it's dropping in the first 3 months of the year. So just like Marvel Studios does, when one series is winding down, if it's doing a weekly thing, they start hyping up the next one. They do this for everything. I mean, it's literal marketing to the same crowd. So this would honestly make a lot of sense to me. So this, I would quite honestly expect to be a very real thing. The other thing that's rumored is Clayface. I'm not expecting much Clayface. I'm going to be real with you. Maybe none. If anything, you'd be lucky to get our first look poster, and that's it. But if anything on Clayface, I would say optimally and optimistically, you get info about the film, maybe a basic plot synopsis officially revealed, with some other supporting cast members and who the potential villain is. Outside of that, nothing more. The other one is, of course, Supergirl. Supergirl's next year. Great. Supergirl is in post-production. Even better. Rumors of it moving release date sounds plausible. If there was one place to announce it, New York Comic Con would be it. Now, do they release the first poster here? Or first image? Sort of like how we had the image of Clark putting his suit on with the orb imp behind him? Maybe. I mean, maybe something like that I could expect. But again, don't get overexcited. Again, I'm trying to issue a warning here because, again, all this is speculation. And the final one is Man of Tomorrow. I don't think you get anything on Man of Tomorrow. Which brings me to, I guess, the final part of this, which is the trailers that are supposed to drop. So we're being told there will be DC Studios trailers. And technically, I think that's true. If they reveal anything for their cartoons or anything like that, that counts, right? So the next season of My Adventure with Superman, more spin-offs for whatever other animated and kids stuff they're doing, I think that's all fair game. And honestly, it doesn't really state that, hey, it's not DC Studios, because it's all DC Studios. I would also expect maybe a reveal, first looks at the other My Adventure series, because we know Green Lantern is getting one, and we know there's other cartoons in development. If anything from DC Studios proper, though, I would say expect the most bare bones minimum thing, if anything at all. Because, truth be told, New York Comic Con, as big of a deal as it is for a Comic Con, second behind only San Diego Comic Con, these studios have learned that it's sort of a, how do I say this without insulting New York Comic Con, even though I don't like that comic convention after being at it 4 times. It is the most mundane, Hollywoodized Comic Con after San Diego Comic Con. And now, more so than ever, these cons are less covered than anything because, like the gaming conventions of yesteryear, E3, these studios have realized that instead of spending $5 million on a booth and $2 million to rent out a hall, that they can have their own presence online and garner way more views. Hence why DC already shifted back in the day to DC Fandom. And what I'm trying to say generally is don't expect a lot, but I would say on their comics and cartoons front, you could probably expect a little bit more. And if any of that is part of the DC universe, maybe the Blue Beetle animated series will make its first reveal, grand reveal or something like that. But those thinking James Gunn is going to hit the stage and reveal your first look at Man of Tomorrow or something like that, I'd hate to inform you, but the likelihood of happening that is the same likelihood of me walking outside and running into Liu Kang recruiting me for Mortal Kombat. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.